This is Cosmonaut Catch-Up 2023 edition, right? Yeah, it's 2024 right now. So first thing I want to bring up is, what have I not watched? There's a lot of stuff I haven't watched. My end year video actually took a lot of work. Big things: I did not watch Ahsoka. I did not watch Invincible yet. I have not watched Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Didn't watch Blue Beetle. Haven't watched Echo. Didn't watch Gen V. Pluto, I didn't watch because I've read it. And I'm not ready to go on that journey again. That's my favorite manga of all time. And it makes me sad. So I can't watch it yet until I'm emotionally prepared. It's a lot of stuff I didn't watch. I'm going to remember as we go. The Marvels I did watch. I forgot the Marvels came out. I forgot the Marvels came out. We have to talk about that. There's so much stuff. A whole year of stuff I just kind of forgot about. A lot of stuff I didn't watch. I saw The Boy and the Heron. I don't have much to say about The Boy and the Heron. I watched Nimona. I do have something to say about Nimona real quick, actually. I didn't think I'd have something to say about Nimona, but I have something to say about Nimona. Let's start with Nimona. Now, this movie's nominated for Best Animated Picture, which is the only reason I'm even bringing it up right now. Movie looks really great. Looks cool. It's just the Iron Giant. This movie is the Iron Giant, but instead of an Iron Giant, it's a Tumblr girl. There's a point halfway through this movie where I was like, this is the plot of the Iron Giant. There were so many moments where it was the same story beats. If you know the Iron Giant and you watch this movie, halfway through you're gonna have the revelation I had. All right, where you're like, wait a minute, this is very similar to the Iron Giant. Still a fine movie, cute, not a bad movie, but it is the Iron Giant. So anyway, let's move on to things I actually want to talk about. I don't know why that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. All right, let's talk about a good thing. Let's talk about a good movie. I take Cosmonaut Catch-Up as a chance to remind you guys that real movies exist. That you don't have to watch things with Hulk in them. Holdovers is not mid. Shut up, idiot. I like this movie. I love a movie with just a small cast of characters, basically in like one location over like a tiny, like a select period of time. Paul Giamatti and a young lad are stuck in a school with this wonderful woman over the holidays. Good Christmas movie. I like a cabin fever type plot where a small cast of people are trapped together and it's just you're watching them interact. It's basically you're just learning about these three people. That is it. That's the whole movie. And I really, really enjoyed it. Paul Giamatti is crazy in this movie. He's actually, is his name Paul in the movie? It's always weird to me. Do I think Paul or Cillian Murphy gets Best Actor? It's gonna have to be Cillian. But I think Oppenheimer still clears. I still think it does. But this was a good movie. I liked it. I like the vibe. I will say I like the vibe of like it's like a movie made in the 70s. Like it tries to recreate the feeling of a 70s film. You know, the intro title cards, the like production companies are like all the retro logos and stuff, and that really sets a good tone for the movie. Shot like very conservatively, but in like a good way. Is this like Whiplash? Not like Whiplash. This is more of like a cute, like, it's like a feel-good movie, you know? It'll make your heart feel good. It'll make your heart feel good. It's a little sad, you know? It's a little sad, it's a little funny. It's a good little cozy drama. 9.5 out of 10. D&D movie. Silly movie. Now, I know a lot of people had the same like revelation when they watch it. It's like, wait, this is good actually. Yeah, this is a good party movie. Like if you're at a party and you put this on, so that's pretty decent. Decent movie to put on, you know? Actually, this is probably the one movie I've watched the most out of what came out last year, to the point where I forgot it came out last year. This is a great movie for putting on in the background, looking up every once in a while. Like, you know, you're cleaning the house, you know, you got some chores to do. You just have this movie on in the background. Every once in a while when you stop by and like check on what's going on in the movie, it's always a fun scene happening. It's a fun time. Like, you don't have to take it too seriously. I really hope there's a sequel. The graveyard scene is legitimately comedic gold. If you need to try to discover how to write comedy, the graveyard scene in this movie is how you do it. How many sequels do you think this movie could have? I don't care. Just make them. Don't give a fuck. Just make them. Just put out dumb, stupid movies and I'll watch them. Let's talk about make you guys eat your broccoli again. So I watched Poor Things. You watched this movie with your mom? I'm so sorry. So this movie, I don't want to spoil what this is about either, because I also went into this blind. I knew, like, the idea. I wish I didn't. I wish it didn't get spoiled for me. This is a very strangely whimsical and fantastical movie. It's kind of like a fantasy adventure in some ways, but, like, not really. It's like an adventure of discovery for the character that Emma Stone's playing. A lot of people are saying it's Barbie for adults. Yes. So this is the girl boss movie that people think Barbie is trying to be. There's a lot of discourse right now about Barbie. See, Barbie got nominated for Best Picture. Let's be real. Barbie's a fun time, but it's not Best Picture. Barbie is fun. Barbie's funny. But if you try to analyze it as a feminist piece, it falls apart a little bit. It falls apart a lot of it. It is very surface level feminism. Now, I've always had the opinion that the movie is kind of meant for teenagers who haven't heard those kinds of messages before. If you haven't heard the kind of feminist messages that Barbie is spouting, because, you know, you don't hear that in every movie you go see, and you're, again, a teenager who needs to hear those kinds of things, that's a great movie for you, because then you get to learn that kind of stuff in a movie for everybody. But that's again the surface level, and you can learn more about it as you grow up. This is feminism for grown-ups. This is feminism for grown-ups in a way that, you know, is more nuanced. It's a very sex-positive movie. It is a very horny movie. If you're one of the people who's like, I don't like unnecessary sex scenes in movies, you're not gonna like this movie. You are not going to enjoy this film because most of it is Emma Stone getting fucked by ugly men. Now, Ruffalo, people saying Ruffalo's good in this. My hot take is, I think Ruffalo's kind of the worst part of the movie. There he is. Now, Mark Ruffalo's having a lot of fun here. He's having a great time. And that is infectious. It's really fun seeing him be silly. And a lot of people are being silly. It's a silly movie. It's very funny. But everybody else's performance is really, really good. Willem Dafoe is amazing in this movie. Emma Stone is amazing in this movie. I watched this with Vero, and Vero brought up the point that Emma Stone's basically playing someone who, you know, starts off with the mind of a newborn child in an adult body, and she rapidly advances into adulthood through the course of the movie. So you watch her transform over the course of the film, and it is seamless. There's moments where, like, you're like, oh yeah, she's really, you know, maturing here. She's Renesmee. Fuck, she's Renesmee. Oh my god, you're right, she's Renesmee. She's Renesmee. No. Anyway, she is amazing. Willem Dafoe's amazing. And then when we get to Mark Ruffalo's kind of just Mark Ruffalo doing a funny voice. And I like the funny voice because he's supposed to be silly in the movie. Like, his role in the movie is to be silly. He's supposed to be goofy. But it still feels like Mark Ruffalo being silly. Not, you know, this character. He doesn't feel like the character he's supposed to be. It just feels like Mark Ruffalo showed up on set and had fun. Yippee! And then that, you know what? It's great. Happy for him. His accent is also really bad. Everybody else's accent is good. A lot of people are playing, you know, they're playing British people or, you know, Scottish people or Irish people, and they're all American. So, and they're doing a really good job. Mark Ruffalo isn't. So, I still liked him in the movie. He's still fun. He's still goofy. But, you know. Mando Season 3, was that this year? Was that this year? I wasn't going to talk about this. I thought this was last year. I thought this was the year before. There's a reason I haven't watched Ahsoka. I tapped out here. I tried. I fell asleep 4 times watching Mandalorian Season 3. I never fall asleep watching stuff. I make it a point. If I'm tired right now. I almost wasn't going to stream today, but I said I would. I'm tired right now. I would not watch a movie in this state. I really want to watch Killers of a Flower Moon, but I will not do it because I will get sleepy. And I want to respect the thing I'm watching, good or bad, and watch it all the way through without stopping. I fell asleep a lot watching this show. It is really boring. And I like this stuff. I actually enjoyed the stuff in in Coruscant. I was actually kind of vibing with this. Strangely enough, I don't give a fuck about Bo-Katan. I don't care about her that much. I don't care about the Mandalorian culture that much, and the season's all about Mandalorian culture. I hate to say that I don't like Mandalorian culture in the show called The Mandalorian, but they have to make it more interesting. Like, they have to make me care. I will care about the culture of a sci-fi, society if you make it interesting. Oh, look. What's that? Dune. The thing that does it right. I quit. I couldn't finish it. I tried. I really tried. I got more than halfway through. I got past the Lizzo and Jack Black episode, which I didn't even hate. But I didn't like it either. It was like I was watching a Marvel show. I just didn't give a fuck anymore. Yeah, it doesn't feel as nicely shot. It doesn't have the heart that the show has had. They're just making it to make it. They're making it because no one's telling them not to, and because people watch it. It's sauceless. You're right. It's sauceless. It's missing the sauce. Season 1 has the sauce. This show doesn't have the sauce. It's not bad. That's the thing. It's not a bad show. It's very watchable. I used to look forward to watching The Mandalorian every week, and now I don't care. It's I clocked out. I couldn't take it anymore. That's why I've taken a break from Star Wars. I haven't watched Ahsoka. Breaks my heart, but that's the way it is. By the way, I spoil Kung Fu Panda 2 in this part. I mean, you probably don't care, but I figured I'd warn you. I'm trying something new this year, okay? There's a lot of things that I watched that have come out long before 2023. I finally got to watch Kung Fu Panda. Everybody's been talking about Kung Fu Panda, and I watched Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2. I haven't watched the third one yet, but I watched 1 and 2. This movie's pretty good. I don't know if you guys have seen this Kung Fu Panda movie before. I heard a lot of people say the second one was better. So I was expecting the second one to be better. The first one is better. Let's be honest. The first one's a lot better. I love A Hero's Journey, first of all. And it's done decently well here. It's not the best Hero's Journey. I wish there was a little more to Poe as a character. The gimmick of he's the fat guy, it's fine for a kid's movie. I get it. But, I just wanted a little more from him. And you do get that in the second one, I will say. The second one adds a lot to his character with, his past and stuff. I like that. But the problem with the second one is that they show you what happened to the pandas at the beginning of the movie. And then the rest of the narrative is you watching Poe discover this information that we already know. We were told at the very beginning that what's-his-face killed all the pandas, right? That Gary Oldman killed all the pandas. So it's kind of frustrating watching Poe slowly learn this over the course of the movie, where I think if they just kept that a secret, that reveal near the end would be really good, That would be surprising. Oh my God, Poe's family is dead? What the fuck? That would be kind of cool, right? But no, you're told that at the beginning, and then you have to watch Jack Black be goofy for an hour and a half until the very end when he finds it out. It's more than a nitpick at that point, because it would really legitimately make the story better. If that was the case, I legitimately would think the second one would be better than the first one. But unfortunately, that's how it is. But I liked it. The action scenes in 2 are better than the action scenes in 1. So there's that. I liked them. Didn't watch the third one yet. I heard the third one was kind of mid, so I didn't feel like watching it. But I liked 1 and 2. But later, let's watch John Dick. So I watched John Dick. I actually haven't talked about the John Wick movies. I like the John Wick movies. But these are for me, I like to keep these for myself. There's some things I don't review or talk about because I don't want to. I want to enjoy them on my own and not have to share my feelings with the world, you know? And that's how I feel about John Wick. I like John Wick 1. I strangely really, really like John Wick 2. Like, I think John Wick 2's my second favorite for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I like that John Wick 2 doesn't stop. Like, John Wick 2 doesn't have any slowdown. And one thing I don't like about the John Wick movies, I think the John Wick movies get overhyped a little bit. The world building and, like, story of these movies is bad. And, like, I always thought that was the point. Like, I take that as, like, oh, that's kind of the point. Like, you don't need to worry about the story. Like, the framework is just here to get to the action scenes. It's a movie based around a guy who's upset his dog and his wife are dead. All right, and it's been that for 4 movies. And, like, that's kind of like a joke at this point. Also, yes, Keanu is not a good actor. Keanu doesn't act. Keanu performs. He is a great performer. But as an actor, he's gotten worse somehow. I don't know what happened, but he's actually gotten worse at acting. Seems like a wonderful guy. Seems like a nice person. But I don't watch these movies for that. I watch these movies for high-octane action, okay? Good choreography. This one's shot really well. Like, the shots of this one are really cool. The scene, the fucking Hotline Miami scene from Bird's Eye View where he's going through the apartment building, just wrecking people with a shotgun that shoots fireballs. This scene is so fucking raw. I don't need to know about the plot of this movie, all right? This is a video game. I liked this one a lot. I don't like John Wick 3. I think John Wick 3 is very tedious. That's where, like, they focus a lot on the story and the world building. Whenever they're talking in these movies, it's the worst part of the movie. Like, whenever they're having a conversation, it's terrible. And John Wick 3 is mostly conversation. Yeah, I don't care about the coin lore. I don't care about the lore of the coins and the assassin guild. I don't care. I want to see shit like this. I want to see this stuff. I want to see a long take of Keanu Reeves with a fire shotgun just destroying people, all right? My ranking is 4, 2, 1, 3. I like 1 a lot. I really don't like 3. Like, I try not to rewatch 3. Like, I rewatch these every once in a while. I don't rewatch 3 very often. I rewatch 2 a lot. I like John Wick 2. John Wick 2 is good. You know what? Let's keep going with the good stuff. Because I just bought this movie. Oh, you know what? This is fucking Paramount. Fuck this shit. Fuck you, Paramount. Suck my dick. They're never gonna be able to catch this shit now. I like this movie a lot. Now, I think it might be a little too long. It's just a hair too long. Pacing's a little iffy. But it's all offset by the fact this movie's very cute. Yeah, if this movie was just a little shorter, I'd like it. But the cuteness of this movie saves it. I love that they let the kids ad-lib. I like that the turtles are teenagers. I really liked Master Splinter. I like Jackie Chan Master Splinter. I think he's really funny in this. Like, this is the best version of the Ninja Turtles that we've gotten since, like, the Nickelodeon show. Even then, the Nickelodeon show looks really cool. They're on the Nickelodeon show. The Rise show. I'm kind of like a low-key Turtles fan. I don't talk about it that much because I only like Turtles every once in a while. When I was a kid, I liked the Turtles aesthetically, and I didn't like any of the shows. I just thought the Turtles looked cool, and I thought the shows sucked, so I didn't watch them. Again, their personalities are usually kind of just, you know, oh, Raphael's the dumb strong one, Donatello's the smart one, Mikey's the funny one, and Leonardo's the boring one, and, you know, that's how it's always been for a long time. And I like that here they feel like 4 teenage brothers. You know, they still have their distinct character traits. You could tell them apart, you know, when they're talking. I like that they're Zoomers. People are like, oh, there's too much Zoomer humor in this. They're kids. Like, you ever talk to a fucking kid? This is exactly how they talk. This is exactly what they act like. And I like that. I like that kind of realistic depiction. You know, even if I were to talk to a Zoomer in real life, I'd want to blow my brains out. Yeah, but I'm not talking to a Zoomer in real life. I'm watching a very realistic depiction of a Zoomer in a cartoon turtle form, and it's really good. It would be inaccurate if they weren't Zoomers. If I was watching a movie with a live action child actor and they were giving a very strange and unrealistic performance, I would complain about that. So I like that they are annoying Zoomers. I like that they're cringe, annoying ass kids, because it was very cute and endearing. The movie looks awesome, by the way. I like that it looks like drawings in a kid's notebook. Mr. Beast is in this? Is Mr. Beast in this shit? Never mind. 4 out of 10. I give it like the same rating. This is like, I feel the same way about this as I feel about D&D. D&D movie and this are like in the same category for me. A movie that like I'll put on like for my friends. I'll be like, oh, you guys haven't seen that? I'll put that on. We'll watch it. Yeah. 7.5 is probably good. Sometimes a 7.5 is a great movie, 7.5s are some of the movies I watch the most. Something I didn't like. I don't have much to say about this one, but this movie is ass, bro. This movie sucks. This movie sucks dick. I wish I didn't watch this movie. I legitimately wish I didn't watch it. It was a waste of my time. All right? Now, here's the thing. I know the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I have known the Five Nights at Freddy's lore for about 2 years now. I don't know why, but one day I just decided I want to know the lore. So I spent a week learning the lore. And I know that makes me sound like a Zoomer, but it actually, you're wrong. It makes me sound like a millennial. Because that was the moment where I was like, I want to see what these kids are. I want to see what these whippersnappers are talking about. Because I'm always, if something's popular, I have like this weird fascination with why it's popular. And I want to find out why. And I'm not about to play all the Five Nights at Freddy's games. I played the first 2. And I was in college when Five Nights at Freddy's existed. Like when the first game came out, I was paying taxes. Okay? I didn't have time. I had to go to college. I had to do my exams. I did not have time to get into Five Nights at Freddy's. I know the lore. I studied the lore. I have opinions on the lore. I have favorite animatronics. I'm not going to get into all that because it's embarrassing. Because I actually really got invested in the shitty ass lore. It's terrible. It's not good. I like the marionette the most. So I was actually strangely looking forward to this movie because I knew it wasn't going to be good. This is probably my least favorite movie I watched of the year. I'm not going to lie. Like, it is paced so strangely because for some reason it has to have 5 nights at Freddy's. So every night something has to happen, but there's only so much we can do with that, right? We can't have him being tormented by the animatronics because we need to try to make a plot around the animatronics being, little kids' souls in the animatronics. It's not scary. Like, the animatronics are kind of like cute and goofy. So like there's no tension. You don't really feel scared of them. Maybe that's the point, but it is kind of trying to be a horror movie, but also not. It's trying to be for kids. I did like the one scene of the animatronics fucking people up where like that girl gets like bitten in half. That was cool. That's the only time anything cool happens. Love Matthew Lillard. He's barely in it. His inclusion in the story is laughably dumb. Josh Hutcherson actually is really good in the movie, though. He is trying really hard in this movie, and I respect that. I respect the hell out of it. The girl from You, her character's horrible. It's one of the worst characters in a thing that I've watched this year. Oh, I'm gonna lure you into this place. Basically, I'm complicit in murders, but kind of also a good guy, and I'm gonna smirk, a DreamWorks smirk at you, and I kind of know everything that's going on, but I'm not gonna tell you. And what is my point in the story? Who knows? It doesn't make any sense. Did you guess the twist? Who couldn't guess the twist? I know the lore. I did not like it. 1 out of 10. Super quick lightning round. I watched Creed 1 and 2 this year. I'm only talking about this for one reason. Creed 1's a 10 out of 10, baby. Creed 1 is a perfect film. I don't care who disagrees with me. Creed 1 is great. Creed 1 is perfect. Perfect. And yes, I'm late. I've been wanting to watch these for a long time. Creed 1 is so good. Like, yeah, it gives me chills. I watched this because I was like, yeah, I got to catch up on some movies I haven't seen. I'm just going to put this on. I was enraptured. I was so engrossed in this film. I watched it twice in a row. I never do that. I put it back on, back to back. I was like, run it back. I'm going back in. The long take boxing match is so fucking good. So good. I've only seen Rocky 1, 2, and then Creed 1 and Creed 2. Those are the only ones I've seen. Now, Creed 2 was a little bit of a letdown. The Coogler effect is very powerful. This movie is like the sauceless version of Creed 1. It's directed worse. Creed is not a interesting person. Kind of a boring guy, so like I don't really care about his conflict. That's his whole conflict is the same conflict for the whole movie, and it doesn't have a lot of nuance, and I kind of just wanted a little more from this. I expected more. I thought this one was going to be as good as the first one, and it wasn't. I ended up liking the Russians way more. Also, my friend brought this up. I was watching this with my friend. You know how people mention the Mexico filter is like yellow? The Russia filter is blue, and people don't talk about that. It's true. Yeah, I liked Drago. I liked these characters the most. I thought the Russians were the most interesting part of the movie. Way more interesting than Creed, unfortunately. Creed 2 gets 7. Yeah, didn't hate it. It was still like a watchable, fine movie. Let's run through this real quick. So, I don't have much to say about this one. I don't want to get people too mad. I wasn't going to make a video on it. I wasn't going to talk about it that much. I talked about it enough on Twitter. I didn't like One Piece live action. I thought it's kind of stinky. Main guy who does Luffy. That's Luffy on screen. Amazing depiction of Luffy. People were complaining about him. People were like, oh, the show's great, but that is not Luffy. Shut the fuck up, all right? This is as close as you get to Luffy in real life. Luffy is a fucking cartoon character. He is Bugs Bunny and Goku put together. You cannot capture that accurately in a human being. This is as good as Luffy can get in live action. I really like Sanji. They fixed Sanji. Sanji is insufferable in early One Piece because he is... The pervert character does not age well in shonen, and it's very hard to recommend shonen to people with, you know, aggressive pervert characters. But Sanji is fixed in this by being kind of just like the gentleman character. I like that a lot. And I will say the fight scenes are better choreographed than I gave them credit for, but I unfortunately could not erase the manga from my brain as I was watching this. I said it this way. It's not that it's bad. It's that it takes everything from the anime and manga, and it never surpasses it. I love the One Piece manga. It was like reading the One Piece manga, but worse, at least a little bit worse in every way. I don't think I'm the target audience. I think that there's like two types of One Piece fans. There's One Piece fans like me who are snobs, who only read the manga and hate the anime, even though the anime's gotten better. And then there's One Piece fans who will just enjoy One Piece and they'll eat it all up. They'll watch the anime, they'll watch the movies, they'll read the manga. They like it all. It's not for me. This is very good for getting people into One Piece. I found a lot of people watch this and they're like, oh, I didn't give a fuck about One Piece, but now I kind of do. And I think that's a good thing. Just wasn't for me. That's all. It was not for Marky. I'm a snob. I understand that. But for what it's worth, I think most people would like it. And it's worth the watch. They fucked up Usopp, though. I have to say, they fucked him up. He doesn't get to do shit. All right? In his first arc, he is crucial to saving the day. And in this show, he doesn't do shit. They make it about Zoro for some reason. He can't even save his own island. That is absurd. They improved Sanji a lot, ruined Usopp. What's that movie? Talk to Me. I like Talk to Me. I'll talk about Talk to Me for a little bit. I was kind of let down by Evil Dead Rise in a few ways. I didn't hate it, but I was like, yeah, it's whatever. It was fine. I watched it. Then I went into Talk to Me, and I was like, this is what I fucking wanted. This is what I fucking wanted. This is it. This movie is miserable. This movie's so upsetting. And I love a miserable movie. You guys know this about me. I could say this movie isn't like scary, but it feels like a nightmare. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like I'm at the point in my life where like nightmares aren't going to leave me like sweating and screaming. I wake up in a cold sweat. Ah! You know, but it's going to kind of put me in a bad mood for like that first few minutes of me being awake. You know, I'm going to be like, ugh, didn't like how that made me feel. That's how this movie makes me feel. Feels like a nightmare. And I think that's a good feeling for a horror movie. You know when I said, like, The Holdovers was a comfy movie? This is an uncomfy movie. And I think there's a place for both of those kinds of films. Not gonna, scare your pants off. You're not gonna be, sleeping with the nightlight on. But it's very effective at what it's trying to do. I was really into it. This girl is so fucking good in this movie. It is a crime that we do not let horror actors get nominated for Oscars. It's ridiculous. This is like actually best performing, like best actress material. Not lying. And it's fucked up that there's no recognition because it's a horror movie. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10. I give it an 8.5. So I watched The Killer when it came out. Now, people don't seem to like this movie. I like this movie. I did not like seeing Florida. Floridians are actually this strong, by the way. I've seen it. But I actually really like the movie. I like this character. I liked following this character. I liked that he is shit at his job and wrong all the time. Like, I really enjoyed that, like, Fincher took this thing that he always does. He narrations are his thing. He loves to have the character talk to you directly. And normally, in a movie, you would criticize that. You'd be like, oh, you should be show, don't tell. I always say that, right? It's more of a critique on his own films, which I'm actually, I think is actually interesting. He'll tell you something, and he'll be wrong. And he'll look stupid, and he'll look dumb. I thought that was a very interesting way to do it. Because most of the movie, most of the dialogue, most of what you hear is this character telling you what's happening. And he's very unreliable. He's an incredibly unreliable narrator, and it's done in a way that I think is very interesting. I liked it. That was pretty good. I don't know what I give it on Letterboxd, but it's like an 8. Okay. You guys really want me to talk about this one. It's Godzilla time. It's big lizard time. Godzilla Minus One. This is the movie everybody's fucking talking about. Everybody loves this movie. I like Godzilla. I like Godzilla a lot. This one, the first one, and Shin Godzilla are the good ones. That's it. I don't think it's perfect. I know you guys can already tell that I had some things to say about it. It was very overhyped for me too, unfortunately. This wasn't on my best of the year. People were saying this is best movie of the year. When I hear that, before I go into a movie, I'm expecting to see that. I'm thinking, once I hear that, I have Oppenheimer in my brain again. To be fair, this movie is very good. Visually, I cannot understand how they made this movie with the money they had. It looks like $100 million movie. It looks brilliant. That scene right there, best scene in the movie is this one. This scene, just his performance is so good. His performance is fantastic. And that scene right there is the best. This is the one that this got me. I was like, okay, yeah, that's some good shit. My problem with the movie, though, I just wish it was a little more subtle. And I understand. I understand. Hold on. I understand I'm saying I want the Godzilla movie to be more subtle. I get that. I understand that. But I really enjoyed that, like, from the beginning of the movie, we are shown, again, it's the same thing, kind of similar to the Kung Fu Panda problem I had earlier. It's really weird that these aren't very comparable films, but they have a similar issue, is that we are shown at the beginning of the movie what this character's conflict is. Spoilers, he is a kamikaze pilot that abandoned his duty. We are shown that in the first scene, and we automatically understand, okay, I get it. That's this guy's problem. That's what this guy is dealing with. And again, he has to reiterate to us verbally his conflict multiple times. And I just really wanted it to be less on the nose. His internal conflict, when it was an internal conflict, it was great. When it was an external conflict, not as much. That scene where he's sitting with his not girlfriend, and he's just sitting, it's a really long scene of him just telling us everything we inferred over the course of the first half of the movie. We are like sitting there, we were piecing together his story piece by piece, and it is very natural and well paced, and then he has to sit there and tell us everything that we earned. I don't love that type of storytelling. I really don't. It's still really good. It still rocks. This is as good as Godzilla gets, really. This movie's got heart. This movie makes you happy to be alive. And like, yeah, people are saying like, oh, you can't expect Godzilla to be subtle. You can't expect Japanese media to be subtle. I've watched a lot of things, you know. I've watched a lot of things. I've seen Japanese people be subtle. Okay? I don't just watch anime. All right? I've seen Japanese people create beautiful works of art. I'm not just going to say, well, Japanese people don't know how to be subtle. I think that's a little racist. All right? And you guys are all racist for saying that. They're capable of being subtle too. They're not aliens. They don't not know what subtlety is. Yeah, we've got a whole Kurosawa catalog. All right? So let's just put that aside. When I'm complaining about the Japanese movie feeling like anime, it's because I'm not expecting anime when I watch a Japanese movie. I'm expecting a movie. And then when I'm reminded of anime, I'm like, oh, so it's kind of feels a little bit like anime. That's a little disappointing. I was expecting something a little more. Still think it's good. Good movie. I'd still give it a 9 out of 10. I watched it twice. Immediately went next week and watched it again. That's everything that I wanted to talk about. Now let's talk about the last chunk, the things I don't want to talk about that I have to anyway. Let's start with this one. This show fucking sucks. This show fucking sucks, dick. It's the worst shit I ever watched, man. I hate this show. I hate this show so much. Show's ass. I hated watching this. Before I started, like really started working, like editing the Batman videos, I was going to do a 2-parter, a 3-parter. I was going to do this. I was going to do, I closed the tab for the Marvels. I closed the tab for this. I was going to do this, and I was going to do Loki all at the same time, right? I didn't want to. Like, I didn't have it in me. I was like, I'd rather just make the Batman videos. I really want to watch the Batman videos and work on something that I want to talk about instead of talking about things I don't want to talk about. Now, I only really disliked one of these 3 things, okay? And it's this. I hated this show, man. It's so bad. Samuel Jackson, I feel like he why'd they give him a show this bad? Did people really say this is going to be Marvel's Andor? People were saying that when Echo's trailer came out, all right? Let's not throw around that phrase very often. Andor is good because we weren't looking for an Andor. We weren't looking for this great subversive piece of media for this, you know, for this franchise that hasn't gotten anything good in a while. Stop looking for Marvel's Andor, all right? You're not going to get that, all right? Because Andor is very particular and specific to Star Wars. It is a story that wouldn't work in Marvel. The things that I want from Star Wars are very different from what I want from the MCU. This show is so painfully boring. It is allergic to being interesting. I saw this trailer, I saw this shot, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Kind of a cool little shot there. That's the only time in the show that I thought that. By the time I got to that shot, I was like, damn, I forgot I liked that in the trailer. The final battle is horrible. Horrible. Terrible. Just awful. So many like important things happen here. So many characters die in this show that have been in a lot of movies. Everybody's saying no one cares. All right. So this is the part where chat convinced me to spoil all the people that die in Secret Invasion. You probably didn't watch the show and I know you don't care, but I just figured I'd warn you anyway. What's her face? Maria Hill dies in the first episode. And that's where I was like, when that happened, I'm like, now I know nobody's watching this show because nobody told me that. Nobody spoiled that shit. She gets domed in the first episode. I watched this really late. I watched this months after. And I was like, damn, no one saw this because people would have brought this up. I would have heard about this. All right. Yeah, hope you guys like Maria Hill. She's dead. She's never coming back. Ben Mendelsohn's Skrull dies. It's all handled so poorly. I thought Ben Mendelsohn's Skrull was going to get a little more of a send-off. He dies in a very unceremonious way. Emilia Clarke needs a better agent. This girl deserves better because she's not a bad actress. But goddamn, she's just like shoehorn. She's just like, they slot her into that little nerd girl slot. You know, they're like, ah, you're in nerd shows. You gotta be a nerd, the queen of the nerds. We'll put you in Terminator, because that's for nerds. Put you in Star Wars, because that's for nerds. We'll put you in we'll turn you into Drax. We'll turn you into Captain Marvel, because you're the nerd lady. Come on. I want to see her get a fucking Poor Things treatment. Put her in like a good drama. You know? Let her play like 8 characters in a movie. Let her do something. Instead of just making that same fucking face. She has that like tired look in her eyes. There it is. This tired look in her eyes. Terrible. Did you know Nick Fury has a wife? He has a Skrull wife? I was talking to my friend. I was watching this and I was like, dude, I gotta watch Secret Invasion. And she's like, oh, that's the one where Nick Fury fucks a Skrull, right? And I'm like, that can't be true. It was. I'm assuming that some of you who just heard this information watched The Marvels, which we'll talk about next. I was quite shocked when his Skrull wife, who lives on the space station, by the way, was never brought up in this movie. You think it would come up once? I thought that some information in Secret Invasion would be important. It is shocking how little work they're putting into the world building now. It used to be like you kind of had to watch each movie to get all the pieces, you know? You were rewarded for doing so. Now, there's no point, man. There's just no point. It's tedious. That being said, this movie's not that bad. There's worse movies that have come out in the last year. This is not one of them. This movie's strangely kind of cute and fun, and it's short. Thank God this movie's short. This movie's only like, 90 minutes? 100 minutes? And as it should be. When they use their powers, they hop back and forth between each other. That's the gimmick of the movie, and it leads to some funny, silly situations. Very fast-paced, doesn't really take a lot of time to slow down, and that is a good thing. There's a scene where, like, they're on a planet where they can only sing to communicate. That's an insanely fun and creative idea for a movie that no one's gonna watch. It's very disappointing that, like, this one, such a fun idea, such a wacky, silly, cool premise, is in a movie that kind of overall is not like, it's mid. You know, mid is a good way to put it. Doesn't always mean bad. People use mid to say that movie was mid, bro. Don't watch that shit. No, mid means middle of the road. It's okay. You could watch it or you couldn't watch it. It won't change your life. If you do watch it, you probably won't hate it. You know? Middle of the road. That is exactly how I feel about this movie. Middle of the road. I watched it and I was like, yeah, it's actually pretty decent. You know, didn't need to watch it. I'll watch it on an airplane. You know? Airplane movie. That's exactly the way we'll put it. It's an airplane movie. Because Secret Invasion is bad. Let's not kid ourselves. That shit sucked. I didn't want to watch it. Bad. I didn't rate it. I give Secret Invasion, I think I give it a 2. No, it's a 1. It's a 1. It's a 1. It's a 1. I can't deny it. It's a 1. It really is a 1. This is not bad. I really like this premise of this singing, dancing planet. It was a lot of fun. Like, the action scenes are actually really cool. The shots like that don't look so great. But these scenes here, like the actual regular fight scenes, where they're like hot swapping between each other, were very fun. And yeah, Iman Vellani, Miss Marvel, is so good in this movie. She is the charisma that the MCU needs right now. The MCU problem right now is they don't have, like, the face of the MCU anymore. It used to be Iron Man and Captain America. We had those charismatic characters to look forward to seeing. Think about that scene in Infinity War where Captain America comes in for the first time. Just seeing him it filled everybody with excitement because they love seeing him. There's no MCU character right now that would get that reaction. Spider-Man is probably the closest, yes, but that's a whole other problem. The Guardians, yeah, but the Guardians, it's done. Guardians is over. It's finished. No more Guardians. We're done with that. So they don't have that charisma. They don't have that character everybody likes. She has the charisma. She has what it takes. They just have to give her good stuff. But no, they just put Wong in everything. And I like Wong, but I don't love Wong. All right? I don't need to see Wong all the time. Yeah, Daredevil, he's on the list. But they have to the problem is they have to build back up. Because we fucked up. There was too much. We had too much MCU. And now we fucked up. Everybody's officially oversaturated. But then we have Loki. And unfortunately for Loki, this show is good. This show is really good. So many people skipped it. So many people didn't watch it. Which is really disappointing. I will say I don't think it's as good as season 1. The ending, a great ending, sometimes distracts people from the rest of the story. And I feel like the early to middle chunk of this season was kind of mid. Builds up as it goes. I think the last 2 episodes are fantastic. Some of the best stuff that the MCU has put out, period. To the point where that it doesn't feel like the MCU. You guys want to talk about the Andor of the MCU? It's Loki. You already have it. It's right here. This is the series. This is the one thing that is tonally different from the rest of the stuff that you've been watching. It has a unique identity, has a unique voice. It has interesting characters. This is something that the MCU needs. It needs something that feels different. It is a good standalone thing. That's the thing is, this doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. This story's done. It doesn't really tie into much else other than the movies you've already watched. Yeah, they pivoted away from Kang. Kang doesn't matter anymore. This is a standalone, bite-sized story. Season 1 and 2, you're kind of meant to watch as one project, and I understand that. And I kind of like that. Loki himself has the best character arc, I think, out of any character in the MCU, weirdly enough. A character that I did not give a fuck about in the movies. In his show, he has the best character arc. And again, it's a lot like Andor. I didn't give a fuck about Andor when I watched his movie. I watch Andor, I'm like, damn, that guy, I like this character. I like this story. It's the same thing here. This is the MCU's Andor. It's not as good. I mean, obviously. But this is as close as you're going to get right now. The finale of this was the first time in a while that I've watched an MCU thing and I felt like the feeling that I felt. I was like, damn, that is sick. That is so good. I am very excited about the fact that there's only one MCU movie for the entire year. There's only one. Yeah, there's only one, and it's Deadpool. Honestly, that's kind of what they need. Deadpool, that prints money. You want to print money? You want to make instant money? You make a Deadpool movie. All right, and the good thing about Deadpool is there hasn't been a lot of them. There's only been 2, and the second one was a long time ago. So people want more Deadpool, and it is a good palate cleanser. That's true. You get an R-rated MCU movie as the only MCU movie of the year? That's kind of bold. That's a promising premise to me. I don't even like the Deadpool movies that much, but I am so desperate for something new that I am ecstatic. I am so excited for something new. That's how I feel about it. I don't even like the Deadpool movies that much, but I want to see something that I have not seen before. If it's bad, that's going to be insane. It's going to be crazy. It's dead. The franchise is dead if that movie sucks. I don't think superhero movies are dead. I've always said that. People like superhero movies, all right? People have been saying superhero movies are dead since I was a little kid, all right? And they're not dead. They're not going anywhere because society is full of fucking nerds. Society loves fucking superheroes. They love superheroes. They love them. They're always going to love them. Okay? They're going to love them until the world blows up. Because superheroes, they go back into something primal in us. Fucking stories of Perseus fighting Medusa. That's superheroes. We've been telling superhero stories since the dawn of storytelling, and it will never go away. And on that topic, I cannot wait for Madam Web, baby. Madam Web is gonna be so fucking funny. Madam Web is gonna be so good. Oh, it's a masterpiece. It looks so good. It looks so good. Delicious garbage. If it's not funny, I'm gonna be so upset. We're only getting one MCU movie this year, but I think if my count is correct, we're getting 3 Sonyverse movies. We're getting Madam Web, we're getting Kraven the Hunter, and we're getting Venom 3. What the fuck? This is my year. That is the craziest lineup of garbage I've ever seen. I would not be surprised if some of those movies do not exist. Why is this being made? It's baffling. It is shocking. Why is this being made? Oh, I'm gonna be eating good. I love bad superhero movies. You guys know I do. I've made it my whole life. I love trash. I love trash. And we getting a whole year of it, baby. I really hope these movies don't get canceled, because I need them. I need them. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you for subbing. Thanks for being my friend. Bye.
Tell me about this hunter.
He has lion powers. He's eating people. Oh, this movie's gonna be so good.